There we go. I don't know why.
Do we know
I had
what
to
we,
hit it 3 times before.
do we know what we did? Zoom Workplace, right?
Zoom workplace, right?
From the bottom,
We
not from
basically
the
had to
side.
Yeah, but it was
close,
along the, yeah, but you
yeah, we
found
had
the
to close it
icon at
out.
the bottom, yeah. Okay, let's see. Admit, John represents.
Howdy.
Okay, correct.
Hey, there you
There
are.
he is.
Hello, hello.
It took 3 of us, I think, 10 minutes to get.
Yeah, but you guys are, look at this. Like, this is progress.
Hi. Uh, this is
If Kurt Peterson's also on, Kurt, if you can hear us, say something.
I can hear you.
yeah, there you
Kurt.
are. All right. Okay.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Is Steve's around,
I
isn't
think
he?
Steve's around, and I hadn't heard that Jay wasn't.
Hello. How are you? Good.
As I learned in the last decade,
Huh?
how are you? Can't complain.
Jane would say, well, I'm here.
I'm here, yes, well, that's it, all right. Can't complain.
Can't complain, but I will.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I know that it doesn't do any good if I do, that's
Right.
I don't know. That's a pretty low bar.
Yeah, we're not overreaching in this.
One of these days, we'll get the doors sorted around on this meeting, won't we?
I unlocked that door.
You did?
Which door?
Okay.
Yeah, I
came
tried to
this
get in
door.
that door.
You couldn't get in?
No, this
Just
one
now?
is.
Oh, because I unlocked it.
No, I think it's the outside doors.
That's the one because it was locked when I reached it, so I unlocked
You locked it or you unlocked it?
Unlocked.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Wonder, maybe I just couldn't handle it. Well, what can I say? We'll probably take half the meeting to get this sorted around. So how's life in your part of the city?
Yes, we had snow. I went
Nice
cross-country
snowstorm.
skiing. It was great.
Nice
It
snowstorm.
was lovely.
Carol went out and went around, part of the trail
Uh-huh.
that has evolved over the years in our neck of the woods. But it was just a nice snowstorm.
Yeah.
Really nice snowstorm. So was the door locked or unlocked?
Yeah, it just wasn't, it had to be pushed to scoot in a little more.
I had to be a little bit more aggressive with it. Is that what?
No, it wasn't you. It was whoever was last inside.
So do I understand the poll house was bought by somebody, or is that just rumor?
I think it's the Pole House,
Timotheus polls.
Timothy's, yeah. I don't know.
Sure looks nice from the Vermont Standard ad.
Where's the house? Which house is it?
The house that, do we call him Timothy?
Yeah, yeah.
Pohl, P-O-H-L.
Yeah, on Bishop.
Bischoff,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Ilsa's house, right.
Anything like that in my neck of the woods that I need to know or should know, the Ambroses usually tell me.
And she would know.
Yeah, can you take notes?
But
I can take notes.
Okay. Probably should get going.
Do we expect the other guys to come? Okay.
Jay sent out the agenda.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
send out the-
Unless he had some sort of emergency down at the power plant.
Okay, let me just.
Who's on,
Just,
Kurt Peterson
Kurt
and John Brokerton.
okay.
I didn't bring the agenda. or
I've
anything.
got
Okay,
it
good.
up. I'm just getting this all
Yeah.
organized. Okay. So, open those minutes. All right, so we'll call the meeting to order. It's 6:36. And first on our agenda this evening is consideration of the prior meeting's minutes.
Haven't read them in a while, but I think I recall they were fine, so I'll move that we accept them.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Then they'll be entered into the,
We vote. I've bypassed this before. I think we vote.
oh, we vote, but I thought we were saying.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right. And then, now as we look at the agenda for this evening, we did the minutes. Any adjustments to the agenda?
Well, it's not really an adjustment, I guess, under other business. I wanted to discuss the ordinances, land use
The
ordinances.
bylaw, right?
Bylaws.
Yeah.
And I sent a thing to Jay, but it didn't make the agenda, and then it was out before I was able to check my email, so. But I don't think it's a problem, because we're not gonna take any action other than to, well, do you want me to go right into it? Is there anything else you
So-
wanted to get to first?
Also not on the agenda is the pledge.
Oh, yeah,
What,
let's table that.
okay, table the pledge.
I mean, that would be my suggestion.
And then town plan matters and other business. What, town plan matters? I'm not sure exactly
Yeah,
what. he
well,
meant
the town plans, I'll report. I attended the select board meeting on Monday. They're starting their work, they're gonna meet every week, I think, for the foreseeable future to get this thing hammered out on their end. They didn't really have there was no big problem with any part of it, we've done. The discussion, what they have to decide is, and John, you can correct me on this, but is whether they want to just, pretty much use our version, or whether they want to spend more time to pick it apart and come up with their own version. I wasn't there if they reached a decision on that. But I didn't, except for a few odd and ends, things out of date, some of the statistics, and some of the wording, which was not, I didn't deem crucial. I don't think there was anything substantive in the plan or policies that they took issue with. But I don't know if I don't think any one of them had delved into it in too much detail yet. Maybe Tom had, but at any rate. And then the other thing is that and John might be appropriate to talk, but Kevin is scheduled to come to our next meeting and talk about, and pretty much give us a preliminary presentation, I guess, about how we go about the land use. He did say.
So the tutorial that we talked about.
Yes,
with the
yes,
bylaws.
that would be it. And so it would be like the first step. There were no specifics about any particular thing that's in the land use, but I think we have to keep the communication with the select board, because I don't think we should go ahead and suggest anything that we know in advance isn't going to be supported. But I did get a sense, and it's a hesitation that I had all along, was whether the select board was committed to it, and I think that they are as much as they can be here
By
at
the
this
way,
point.
Jay has joined us.
Okay,
So
good.
he's on. Yes, just so my understanding is correct, it's preparatory.
Yeah.
We're not acting on any specifics.
That's right.
We're ramping up so that we're
Yes.
capable
Yes,
of doing it.
right,
Okay.
yeah, and I
Well,
think he's going to.
John, can I interrupt? Can you clarify what that means? You lost me for a second.
What I mean, so when Trop comes here, I saw it as they're providing us an overview of everything we needed to know to work on bylaws from their perspective. But we're not actually working on bylaws until we're instructed to do so.
No, I think we can go ahead,
We can
but we're not ready. This is the first step. We have to know what we're doing procedurally before we start talking any substantive bylaw.
So nothing coming from the select board or the town in terms of what they expect of us?
Well, so let me clarify. So a year or so ago, you may recall Kevin came, we applied for a municipal planning grant to do a unified bylaw. It did not get funded. At that time, the select board and town thought it was a prudent move to continue that discussion. So we entered into a contract with Two Rivers to provide the support to the planning commission to draft a bylaw, a unified bylaw. The meeting in January would be, in essence, a kickoff meeting, as it were, to kind of start to. Kevin will come and outline, kind of expectations and timelines and, red flags and things like that. So this is the beginning of a process of which, there's an anticipated outcome, which is a draft bylaw that can be presented to the select board in town.
What I'm thinking back to is the meeting at the end of October when we went through the plan. And there was more than one person, but one person in particular was quite vocal about bylaws and about how we were, or the perception that we were acting without, I don't know what her issue was.
Well, I think it was.
Proper vetting or-
I think she correctly perceived that the town plan had provisions in it that we would expect to be enforced at an Act 250 hearing.
But
Yes,
we explained that.
That's right. And so hopefully, but for people to understand that was the Act 250 process and that the plan itself had no regulatory forces. Whether that message got through or not, I don't know. But I recall one of the answers to her was that we're also considering bylaws, and if she's
Absolutely.
interested, attend those. We want to be as open and as transparent in that process, because otherwise there's going to be there will be opposition. And so
So just for the record, John, what was the genesis of the decision to move forward in developing a bylaw work product?
The genesis.
Is it
Go
from
ahead,
a
John.
year ago?
Yeah, it was, and I don't recall exactly the timeline when Kevin came and we applied for that municipal planning grant, and but it feels like it was, maybe last winter timeframe, or maybe a little later than this, early 2025, spring of 2025. And I think the genesis is, I think there's, increasing development pressures that Heartland is seeing. We've had a couple of kind of big, noteworthy cases where we've been relying on the town plan in a regulatory proceeding when it's not necessarily the correct tool. And I think that at the time, the planning commission, the select board felt like a unified bylaw was at least presented an opportunity to move this forward.
Yep.
And we'll convey this in our minutes.
Yes.
It's not like we need to do anything other
No.
than say we're working.
And just, and warn when we do have meetings where we're considering the specifics of the bylaw, well, even on the planning stage, but we have to be, I think we should be very diligent in getting those are contained. The fact that we're going to do that is contained in the warning of the meetings. So the public knows that it's not, that what we're doing, and that and we might even want to put on the listserv that we would encourage participation.
I would like that, because I think one of the concerns was, you guys are doing things. Well, why? Who instructed you to do anything?
Yes, you'll always get that, because not everybody, pays any attention until it's presented, and then they say, you work behind closed doors, but, so that's what I'm saying, we should just make sure we have a record that we can point to, that we, and if a few people come, the word will get out, especially
Well, I came here tonight hoping that we're having this discussion.
Right.
And the meeting where we had, two people who were here, and then we had a process, and we had a vote, and I was confused as to what my best vote could be or should be when we had that discussion.
Yeah.
And I just want to put that on the table, because if I was confused, then the people.
Everyone else should be confused.
The people, two people who showed up, I think were confused, and that was part of the problem.
Yeah.
And there are other people that will. So I'm pleased that we're having this discussion now, because I would like to see a little bit more, well, the word I'll use is proactivity, but maybe that's not the right word, but a little more proactivity about making sure that what we are doing is known to people. Because I think part of the reason why I showed up here after that with this in my mind was because it's not entirely clear to us that, we got people in town who deserve to be in better shape than we're on this. So that's where I came on this.
No, and I think we're going to get, because between now and the meeting with Kevin, the select board is scheduled to meet. John, you can correct me, and I think the select board's going to meet weekly to just move the town plan along.
Well, not specifically the town plan. We're meeting for the next 2 weeks, because it's also kind of the depth of budget season. So in an ideal world, we can do the budget and town meeting articles and the town plan all at the same time, but I don't know that that is the case. We talked about a draft timeline for adoption of the town plan, beginning in late January, early February. So that gives them, a month, 6 weeks or so to kind of work their way through it.
No, well, that's a tight timeline.
Well, it's a bit aggressive, but otherwise we're bumping into town meeting, and
Sure.
and there was a recognition that that the board readopted the 2017 town plan as basically as a placeholder until the 2025 town plan was done, and so we don't want to. There's not a desire to sit on the town plan and have a lengthy review process. I don't believe so. So
Yeah, it probably is good to have it done by town meeting.
Right.
And do you anticipate anything on the agenda or the publicity for the town meeting that would discuss ordinances, or the fact that we're considering them?
No, again, Dan, I think what you've said is kind of on point, right? As you're going through the process, all of the meetings are warned, are duly warned. They get posted on the website. Jay does a great job about putting it on the listserv as well. So I think, to a certain extent, I think it's a matter of residents being engaged in the process.
Yeah, I wasn't suggesting it. I was just wondering if there was already thinking that was going to happen.
No.
From your prior experience, John, and actually the prior experience on this board, this isn't an open-ended project. So in terms of a timeline and deliverable, where do we get guidance on that?
Yeah. Kevin is the short answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what
So I think at the kickoff meeting in January with Kevin, he can outline a timeline, kind of expectations, and then, when that final product might be or deliverable will be ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Jay and George will remember that, we went through this process once before, many years ago, and we worked closely with Two Rivers on that. So, we ended up with an ordinance that, just didn't go anywhere.
Right,
But we got one out, yeah.
I mean, George has pointed out a number of times, we do things, but they tend to run on. And in this way, if we know or have a very good sense of what we're producing and the timeline in what we're producing it, and we're not going to get project creep and we're not going to go on forever. I don't know what the time expectation is, but it's certainly the deliverable would be passed along at some point this year, I would think.
Well, maybe Kevin would have some
Okay.
thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know, John, how long it typically takes a town planning?
It's been a while since I've gone through the process, but I think you're talking probably 5 to 6 months at a minimum, right? It's not going to be a quick process, especially and Kevin and I have talked about this. I think, there's going to be a fair amount of public outreach that is going to be needed, in terms of this process in town. So I think, kind of building that in addition to the actual kind of bylaw development itself. So, you're talking, this isn't a 1 or 2 month project with a quick turnaround here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll wait for him because I'm curious, are we producing an initial work product that then would be shared with the town? Or is the town working with us to produce that initial work product?
My recollection, John, maybe you again would know, is it similar to the town plan that we have to have there's a public hearing at the planning commission level and then it goes to select board, or is it just something we present to the select board and if they want to go ahead, or, after they,
Dan,
are done?
it's a good question. I don't have the answer. I think it's the second of what you said there. But I don't know exactly off the top of my head. But I can
That
find
would
that
make,
answer.
that would make
And
sense to
Kevin
me,
will know
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, so that'll be
Right,
this year's
yeah, Kevin will
adventure.
know, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I would agree, I would think that it would be, because it's the select board, it's what they call the governing bodies of the town.
So your second was that the select board would,
That we don't have a separate hearing from this, but it's gonna be we would get something to the select board that they could then take and hopefully be.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking specifically about a hearing. I was thinking about whether
The product.
the ongoing process takes input. Because one of the things, and I'm still hearing it in my mind, you went and built this, and now you're asking for our comments. You didn't involve us in a damn thing.
Right.
And that was never the intent. And so this time, I just want to make sure that if anyone has any input, that they're
Yeah, and I
provided
think,
to us
yeah,
right from the
and I
onset.
think as we work, it would make sense to me, John, if you would agree, that we keep the select board apprised of sort of where we are. So if we're headed off in a wrong direction, we would know sooner rather than later.
Yeah, of course. And I think, you might see more of me than you had in years past, as we're going through it, so I can kind of be that liaison as well. Happy to, as what would be the owner of the bylaw and the one who would be in charge of implementing it, it'd be nice to be aware of it, as it gets as you're going through the process.
Yeah, that's true. You'd be the primary liaison, I guess, between us and the select board.
Right. So-
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Oh. Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, everyone can hear you in this room.
I should say that the ordinance process emulates the town plan process. We create a document, we pull everybody in early on in the game, just like in the town plan. We talk to the select board, and eventually we come back, chew through it all, and make a recommendation to the select board. I believe that's the process.
Jay, is the prior work product still pertinent in your opinion?
Anything we've done in the past that saves time in the future is good. Whether or not the words are or not is another matter.
Yeah, we worry about the wordsmithing.
Well, the wording complied with the statutes at that time, so but Kevin would know that.
Kevin will know that. Where is that work product?
Jay has it.
Jay has it? Okay.
Or
Jay
knows-
has what? What does Jay have?
Well, the past work that was done on the ordinance.
The old ordinance.
Yeah, we have a stack of them.
Okay,
Good.
okay. All right. So I guess that's January's.
Yep.
Subject. And that'll probably be pretty much the entirety of that meeting will be focused on.
Yeah. What I'll do, and John, you probably, I don't want to, if you prefer to do it, or we would both do it, but just let Kevin know that it's a go for
Yep.
January. Okay.
Yeah, and Kevin has your email, but I can make sure that gets connected, and yeah, that's easy enough to do.
I'm sorry?
What else were you going to say about the plan? Anything?
No.
All right.
Oh, the town plan?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's the select board now has to decide how, just.
Yeah, I have a question for John.
Which John?
When I first came on, I heard you make a comment, and it was something along the lines of there was some project last winter that where the town plan wasn't the document that whatever you were working on was the right tool to use. I don't know if I caught that exactly right, but could you expand on that?
Just sure, Jay. I think I was just referencing at the time, not only with the cell tower proposal and with Sunnymead, town plans are not, generally speaking, a go-to regulatory tool. But in light of the lack of other things, it was the best that Heartland had at the time. So I think, I think we now have an opportunity to pursue something above and beyond the town plan that might be more effective in those regulatory proceedings.
Oh, okay, all right. I gathered that's what you had in mind.
Yeah.
Not that we have any ordinance or had an ordinance we could have used with either of those two projects. I got it.
Just as a side point, I read a news account that they're considering doing away with the environmental court, and they're going to keep it all under it's going to be an agency administrative appeal process that I guess is the Administrative Procedures Act, if it falls under there, it goes right to the Supreme Court, but it doesn't look like there's going to be I think they're trying to abolish the special court. Just, I don't know what that means practically, but it would have been a lot cheaper for Sunnymead had that.
One of the things we could do is to put out some kind of word about this discussion and why it's taking place.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jay, can you put,
within the
summarize
minutes,
in the minutes?
within
Yeah.
the minutes, or
I'd
outside of the
say get it
minutes?
in the minutes.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
and that was what I was trying to do in my previous comment, that I think I saw something in the last meeting that bothered me.
You mean the hearing?
The hearing,
Yeah.
The hearing, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Oh, I thought it was a
And
good preview, yeah.
that's the way I didn't vote, because I said, hey, wait a minute. Why is this happening?
Yeah, well, we didn't explain it well enough, obviously.
Yeah, and so it is, and I don't know the answer to my comment of a few seconds ago, but would it be good, bad, or indifferent to let people know that we're having this discussion?
Oh, I think we should do it, yeah, I agree.
Hey, do you all get an email from Michelle? She usually sends out the video of our meetings.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we've been getting it.
So George, that's one way to double check to see
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you said or
that's
didn't
good.
say.
It's a good double check, and it makes me feel better because there's this process awareness and moving along. But I was, and I'll go back and maybe other people didn't feel that way, but I was surprised that we had those people suddenly show up and say, well, we've never heard anything about this. I mean, which is basically what happened.
Yeah.
And I've said many times that the whole process in the town is going to gear up.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's nothing we can do for people, because I got a sense that those folks just didn't want ordinances.
Well,
didn't want a town plan that, that gave direction to Act 250 hearings. But, and there's nothing that we can say or do that's, that necessarily is going to bring those folks around. If they, people who live here look around and see what's happened and what John was just saying about the, times are changing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say this on that. We hid nothing. Everything was out in the open. You've got to want to engage in order to, you're going to want to participate and do the work. I will say that our outreach was probably more passive. It wasn't wrong. We're publishing everything, but we didn't strive to engage people along the process.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly embraced them when they wanted to say something. So I don't know if we'd be better served if we were more proactive in drawing people in. I don't know.
Well, I think what you do is at least there's a record you can point to that you made the effort.
Oh yeah.
And so and that's important whether there's a response or not. But what it does is preempt the criticism that, we've been secretly needy and,
Yes. I'm less concerned with justifying what we did or, being able to counter a criticism than I am. Did we fall short in what we were doing with our neighbors, the town, the people we're serving? Could we have done more? Should we have done more? Where does their responsibility lie in putting in the time in reading the stuff that's being put out? So I'm not saying we should do anything, but
What more could we have done?
well, I don't know what a more proactive outreach would entail. And it seems to me it would have to be something we're publishing, but we published them.
It would have to be the listserv.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we didn't use the listserv as much as we could have, but we did use it.
Mhm.
And I don't think, for instance, physical posted notices, which are, required for statutory, for notice of meetings, but I don't think that, that spreads the word at all.
No,
And plus, how can you get everything on a poster?
No, I think it is. I think the listserv would. I mean, Jay or John, do you have an idea as what we do? But I do think the listserv is probably about as proactive as you can be to say, hey, and it would happen after our first meeting next time. This process is beginning. We're just informing you.
Well, what could happen, not necessarily negative, but the keepers of the listserv might not want the listserv to turn into the debate about zoning or not.
Right.
And so what we have to do, we should inform with the listserv, but then also say, come to our meetings, don't have this debate on the listserv.
Yes. Because too often that listserv serves as a complaint board for anyone that's going
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
slight
to review.
Yeah, things take on a life.
A great point, Dan.
See, I would be a little disappointed if we reached the next year, which is around the corner,
Yes.
and we're repeating this discussion.
Oh, yeah, no, I think this is,
Because I think, we should at least let people know that as part of our work on this subject, we had a discussion about, is the word getting out? And in
Yeah,
a proper fashion.
and I think your point's well taken, that we can say, well, we invited people to the meetings, but, we have to own a little bit about, about the lack of information.
Nothing succeeds like success. And for, I think, 34 cents on a 6-cent postcard, we could send out once or twice in the year a postcard to everybody that says, this is what's going on. Pay
I was
attention.
actually thinking about that, Jay, what we did with the survey,
Yeah.
And it worked.
and it worked, and I
Yeah,
thought that
that's-
was pretty proactive. I mean, I want to listen to Troc and have at least a.
Did you say that again, John? Did I miss? What did you just say?
Well, no, I thought that was I was thinking that about 10 minutes ago. I thought the postcard was pretty damn effective.
Oh, okay.
And it was proactive. We got, well, someone might see the small percentage. What experts said was you actually overperformed on the number of people
Oh,
that
yeah.
participated.
Well, we could certainly do it once, see what kind of response, if it bumps attendance at the meetings, things like that, to see if it's worth doing. But yeah, our history with that is pretty good.
Yeah, so that's something to consider for next time. And once now, the municipal planning grant, that's not coming up again. That's in our past, right? That we won't have that opportunity. Okay.
Well, it's approved. That's why
Nope.
Kevin's coming.
No,
What?
no,
Well, I'm sorry.
No.
We
They're
contracted
coming
with them
yes,
to develop it.
but we're not doing we're not petitioning for any more funding to do this. We're bearing it as the town.
correct.
And-
Everybody should realize, John especially, that we have $700 worth of stamps already.
I was thinking that too when you said that. We're well stocked on
I want
stamps.
to be on your Christmas list this year.
You want to send Christmas cards?
And what I think I've heard is don't get started before we're ready, because I know when we're looking at that municipal grant last year, I gathered a lot of stuff from like Bethel and their process with the unified bylaws, Stratford, and so really it's listening to Kevin first, and then we will have at least the outline of a plan on which to act.
I mean, that's not going to come in January, but.
No, but at least we'll begin developing
Yeah, that's the next step.
what we're going to do. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Good. Anything else on the agenda?
The only, unless there's any other business that we need to address, is there anything you can think of, Jay?
I'm sorry,
Is there any other business you can think of?
on this or any other subject?
Any other subject?
No, I guess I'm just waiting until the select board can work through the town plan details to see if we need to go back and have some other discussions or how that's going to play out. But I know that won't happen for a month or two. That to me is the biggie, to see what comes back on that. It'll give us a sense of direction and what the select board's thinking. Unless John has a crystal ball.
He's
Nope.
He's not selling that service this evening.
No, not.
So,
Well, but I'm impressed with his optimism.
I mean, what we've got is the 1st of January is a Thursday,
What?
which means the 7th is the first Wednesday.
Yeah,
Is that when we
that's-
anticipate getting together
Yeah, I
with
think
Trump?
that's the meeting date.
Yep.
So
7th.
we're setting the 7th
Yeah.
as our next meeting date.
So Jay, on the warning, just make sure that, Two Rivers presentation gets in there.
I'm sorry. Say that again, Dan?
On the warning for the January 7th meeting, make sure that the Two Rivers presentation gets in there.
Maybe I missed that because I came in a few minutes late. What's the Two Rivers presentation?
The January meeting will be.
Yes, I understand that.
Kevin is
Oh,
coming.
I see. To
Yeah.
remind them that they should show up to that meeting?
We want to inform the public
Public.
that we're hearing.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
And that the subject is
Yeah,
town bylaws.
is land use, yeah. So, I mean, the time to start putting cards on the table is the
Yeah.
January meeting.
Fine.
So the warning should be clear.
Yeah, no one should be confused as to what we're gonna be talking about and what that portends as we go through 2026. That's what we'll be working on.
Six heads better than one. Why doesn't somebody also write out what that agenda should say?
With that subject, okay.
Yeah, I'll send you something.
Yep.
And John-
As you know, I try to send out the agendas to everybody a day or so ahead of time, just to make sure that there isn't something missing.
I think we'll send that to everyone, and John, if you think that we've missed something, you can
Yeah,
annotate
I think
that.
you're on that list, John, so.
Yep, of course. Of course.
But the body of your email really had everything that.
Well, for this meeting, yeah,
But even what we're gonna be doing.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, we don't have to have a lot of detail, but just, I think the words by, what term would you prefer we use, John?
It is a unified bylaw.
Unified bylaw,
Unified
okay.
bylaw.
So
And what does that mean?
It is zoning and subdivision regulations.
It's
Zoning.
one bylaw as opposed to separate bylaws for like, different pieces. It gets everything in one ordinance, yeah.
Zoning and subdivision.
Yeah,
And that term is uniform,
yeah,
accepted
that's
across.
illegal, yeah.
Yeah, they get it in Vermont. Unified bylaws in Vermont are consolidated land use regulations
Yeah.
that combine zoning and subdivision requirements into a single document and process.
So should the warning explain a bit more? What do you want to do about that one?
There's a thin line between information and getting into the weeds, but I could take a stab at it, and, I'll send it around, so if you think there's something more in the language.
Because if I were one of those people that were here at the hearing, I heard unified bylaw and think, oh, it doesn't mean anything. It's an empty box.
Yes.
Once you say zoning and subdivision regulation,
That-
It's pretty
that-
clear.
And Trot's got a
Yes.
primer on it.
Yes, yeah, I don't want to, what I think, that's a good point, because it doesn't mean anything, but you don't want to be
yeah,
using separate terms,
I
and so people get confused, well, it's unified bylaws is a separate from zoning.
from the zoning.
Yeah, but it isn't, so they.
What I usually do to clarify a point like that is I'll put unified bylaws, parentheses, zoning and subdivision.
Regulations.
I mean,
Yeah.
in the Vermont statutes, they have a section, they define it unified development bylaws.
Unified development.
Yeah, that's the phrase they use. Croc has a primer on it, so there's plenty of homework you can do beforehand on this. But yes, the nomenclature will be important, and maybe at the next meeting, we'll settle on exactly the words we will use to reference the subject.
Kevin will probably have suggestions.
That's what I'm thinking.
And what we don't want is ununified bylaws.
No, that probably would be problematic.
Scattershot bylaws.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I have one question for John. John, is the town using reprint anything? You know, it was Bob Maris before he passed. They were very reasonably priced.
No, we've been using Doolittle's in Claremont.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So if we were to send out a postcard,
Yeah.
if,
Yeah, I would check in with Doolittle's, or we can on
Okay.
the Planning Commission's behalf.
okay.
Any other business?
Move to adjourn.
Do I hear a move to adjourn?
I so move.
All in favor?
All right.
Right.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:16.
Take care.
Thank
Okay,
you all.
thanks, John.
Thank you,
Merry
John.
Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Jay,
Oh, that's true.
hey, Jay, I was taking notes too, and I'll send mine to you so you can just, for the,
I'm sorry, I missed that, Kate.
I was also taking notes during this meeting, so I'll just
Okay.
send you what I had, and you can
Okay.
use or not.
All right, either that or you can send the minutes out if you want.
Send what?
You
What
want
you
to
said?
send the minutes out or you want to send them to me?
Minutes.
I don't care.
Well, we better confer. Yeah.
Okay, we'll confer.
Before the.
Hey, Kate, oh, no, never mind. I'll talk to you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye, Jay.
Good
Okay.
night.
Good night.
I'll go with that.